did I leave off yesterday? Let me pull up my chats actually. That's fine. Come on, let's pull up our Twitch chat. This works out. Might as well actually do the YouTube one. The prep time for these things, man. The prep time. Alright, so added the lighting for this level too. Okay. Man, I'm just not even paying attention. Ah. It's just a warm-up. Hey, Jenko. How's it going? No, I'm not using perspective because, as I said, perspective is going to be used in the core game, not in the demo. For God's sakes. Aha! Oh boy. Why don't you have checkpoints? Because having a checkpoint in a game like this is stupid. The checkpoints is the completion of the level. That's your checkpoint. That is literally the entire purpose of this game, is to make difficult, challenging levels. Making you watch every single step of the way. If you make checkpoints, that defeats the entire purpose. Also, all of these levels are not that long to be thinking about checkpoints. They're really not that long. I mean, this isn't hard. This is like easy. Simple, brah. No! Ah, man. Anyways, I gotta figure out the lighting for this. I swear to God, I can actually get in between those two saws. Maybe. If I'm like pixel perfect. Yeah. Anyways, by the end of tonight, I'm kind of hoping to finish up with all these demo levels. All it is just lighting and a few props here and there. Hey! Oh, I got it. Nice. Okay. So let's kind of finish up that last level. Oh, the dog goes angry. The dog goes aggro. Post this link. Okay. Okay, so props first. So what have you been up to? It's interesting how Wolf, in one of his live streams, was saying I can't really commit to a long project, and he releases a game like 2-3 weeks later. The game that he's been working on for the past 3 years, nonetheless. That liar. Thing is, chances are I'm probably gonna have to extend this thing by a bit. So there's still quite a bit of work that needs to be done. Oh yeah, and of course I forgot to do the thing. You got way too many videos from me in under 4 minutes. What? You should clean up your videos a bit. Probably. There's a bunch of videos when I click start streaming and then I'm like, shit, I gotta rename the stream to the number 1 up, because it's not like I'm doing live stream number 54 again and then I stop the stream and I have to do it again. But all the update clips are supposed to be under 4 minutes. All the tiny piece of shit ones. I'm seeing only one video. That's not there anymore, just deleted it. That's under 4 minutes. That was like a mistake. Live stream thing. Everything else are like update videos and clips for social media. One of my live streams has been processing for a couple of days now. I think that one is borked. And for some reason there are 2. The same number. Yeah, this one's done for. Thanks, YouTube. Although I can't really complain. It's the first time it's ever happened. Yeah, nothing else really. All's fine. $54.48. That's 2 videos that I just deleted. You mean 2 videos is way too many videos under 4 minutes. Oh man, all those 2 videos. Oh man, you gotta clean that up, man. It's such a mess. 2 videos? Wow, man, you don't take care of your channel. I think I got a code in for the light inherit thing for the for other lights. As in, I sometimes use lights, like one light, like this light, in order to extend the effective area of the top light. So it blends in nicely and it looks just fine. It's just that if I'm gonna put a glitch on this light, then this light also needs to follow the exact same. Then 8 update clips you never watch. I didn't make those videos for you, Jenko. I made those videos to post them on social media. And forums and chats and whatnot. What do you mean hide them? I'm not gonna hide them. They're supposed to be update videos. What do you got, OCD all of a sudden? About someone else's channel? Okay. Let me save the lights before I forget to do that. You make 50% of my subscription videos. Well, shit. Whose fault is that, Janko? Go subscribe to a bunch of channels. Fucking hell. 50% of your subscription rate. That's really not even in my realm of Things like, you make 50% of my subscription feed, therefore you must clean up a subscription feed so that my feed would look better. Whoa. I don't know. Let me fix these lights. Zero, one. Zero, one. But you only represent 10% of the channels I'm subscribed to. I don't care. I'm here doing my own thing, you doing your own thing. Hey, if my channel is making such a awful mess on your channel, feel free to unsubscribe. I think that will pretty much solve the 10% of your problems. Okay, I do need another light in here though. Now this one's gonna have to be a red light. Okay, so how about this? Maybe a kit light. So, yay. So, I started to look into things like subtitles that I'd have to put in the game, and I was thinking, okay, since the view, Salt Bay. Since the view, don't forget, Janko, I can revoke your moderator rights. You may wanna rethink that. So, since the view changes size every single, well, not every single level, but there's levels where the view changes size and have the subtitles to popping up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I need to have subtitles popping up for dialogues and monologues. That's the point when I realize how useful the Draw GUI event actually is. So apparently the draw GUI event allows you to draw stuff to the screen without having it be affected by the view size and camera size and whatnot. So when you're switching view sizes, the subtitle bars can actually stay the same size, right? I have not used the GUI event because I don't have any GUI elements in the game, realistically. Like, the only GUI element that I have is the button that pops up from the switches, and that's even inside of the core game. So it's supposed to be synced with the level positions and whatnot. Any UI elements should be drawn using the GUI event. Yes, as I said, I don't have any UI elements. Except maybe the whatchamacallit, the death screen. The death screen would have to go into the UI. Because there is a thing where when I was dying inside of the whatchamacallit, inside of the the cave view actually expanded, and basically the death screen also contracted because of that. And I was thinking, okay, now I'm gonna have to actually draw the thing with the draw width and do it dynamically, but no, I can actually put it into the UI event, and that would have worked out. The debugging text wouldn't go into the GUI layer because there are physical buttons in the text that I have to press to pop up the dials and whatnot, so that wouldn't work, right? Because it would still display the text in the same positions, but the coordinates, XY coordinates for those buttons, would change, and I'd have to account for that, and fuck doing that because it's already working now. And it's not like the user or the player is going to be dicking around the debugging tools either way, so that's pretty pointless. The GUI coordinates are the same as the window size. No, the GUI size is the same as the window size. But then I'd have to do not mouse X, but raw mouse X, which would give me, I think, the coordinates of the mouse within the window as opposed to within the room. So, you know, I'd have to recode my entire thing. And I don't feel like doing that anymore. Yeah. It works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, so what I want to do here's a question. Do instance names remain consistent when you use the instance create event? Let's say you have a new game, you just compiled your game, and you have a code that creates an instance of an object when you press the H button. So you press the H button, it'll create an instance, and it'll create a instance ID. It'll assign a unique instance ID to that object. If you then close the game, compile the game again, and create that object again by pressing the key, is that instance ID going to be the same? Or is it going to be different? If something isn't broken, doesn't mean it can be improved. If I'm going to stick to polishing every single tool unnecessarily, and by no means is using draw GUI event is an improvement, there's absolutely no benefit to me switching to draw GUI event. There's absolutely no benefit. It's not causing an issue. This tool is only made for myself, right? I'm not making a third-party tool that people are paying money for. This tool is for me. I don't care. Alright, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's working as intended. Anyways, let's move on now, shall we? Okay. Alpha inherit inherits glitch ID. Okay, so glitch ID okay, glitch object inherit ID. Well, let's see now. Now, I need to make some sort of a unique ID system for this. If I want the glitch. You know what, fuck it. I'll do it some other time. It's not the most important thing in the world right now. I'll just do this at some other time. Right, so in the room editor, you can actually edit the IDs of objects. In which case, you can make the object created have the ID that you want it to do. But if you're inside of the game, it doesn't seem to me like it's always going to be creating the same. This, like, you know how there's the random function and there's the random seed, and there's a randomize function. So if you use just a random function, it's going to create random numbers, but it's every single time you compile the game, it's going to create the same random numbers, right? While if you put in the randomized function in the beginning of the room creation code, then it's gonna truly randomize those random numbers, right? So I'm not. I don't suppose that the ID assignment works in the same way. I know you know randomize. I'm just reiterating, I'm just putting it into the sentence, into the conversation to set the premise, you know? I know what randomize is. Yeah. Just a friendly reminder. Oh, apparently the creator of the... What's that audio engine mod that's popular? Fmod, is it? Yep, Fmod. So I asked the guy about the Fmod. He already ported it to GameMaker Studio 2. Apparently it's got all the features that I would usually need. I was asking if there's a delay effect. Also, can effect be stacked? Or is it one per track? And finally, how customization of the DSP effects work. So, the delay time, the delay effect, dry-wet signal. Yeah, this is like audio, the audio engine, right? The advanced audio processing for GameMaker Studio. And he responded to the question. It says there's an echo effect you can add to channels to get a delay effect. Multiple effects. Multiple effects can be added and chained together for any given channel using the function. Effect programmers can be set by the parameters, but he still hasn't written documentation for it. He has a demo project of it, so you'll kind of have to start digging around the code. But other than that, here's the link. Other than that, it seems to be actually doing exactly what I need for this game. It doesn't seem to have any videos of it though. Huh. That's pretty cool, actually. This is the official Fmod website. Not bad. And the license is free for indie game developers or low budget game developers, so that's really cool. All you gotta do is just put their logo in a splash screen, which is totally fine. You know, totally fine by me. One free game per year for the license. So I'd say that's pretty good. I love me some graphs for that. You know, Jenka, you sound like you're not going to use any extension unless it uses 0 CPU. Unless it consumes no memory, no processing power, and no... It just sits... It doesn't even exist. That's the only way you're going to use any sort of extension. And yes, one game per year for the free license, right? Considering that if you're making a game that needs to take advantage of the F mod, you're probably not going to be clipping like 5 games a year. You're probably going to be working on that one game for a pretty long time as an indie developer. Actually, not bad. $2,000 per game? That's not bad at all. I'll program my... I would like to see you program audio effects. You're full of shit. I'm calling you out on that. You cannot program audio effects. I would love to see you program DSP effects. Because that is going to be interesting. Nah, man. Nah. DSP effects are one of the selling points of this particular mod. No, you can't. Oh, don't even start explaining how the audio buffer works. I really don't care. If I cared, I'd be making my own engine. Okay. So okay, so the going back to oh man, going back to the other thing. I think I just figured out the best way to actually make my system work. If I want to inherit the glitch effect from another light, I can just store the XY coordinates of the other light, or at least a point that's near it, and I can use the function instance find or whatchamacallit, just find the function instance nearest to the x and y coordinates of that point, and that will inherit the whatchamacallit, that's gonna inherit the coordinates of that light, or just gonna get the idea of that particular light. So this actually can work out just fine. So let's go ahead and do that. I thought I was gonna have to do another thing with freaking custom IDs and make a loop that goes through each and every light. That's just, I've had enough of that using the points with the vertex creation toolkit. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down here, tool settings, right. Inherited glitch alpha. I'm not going to make dynamic lights. I don't need dynamic lights. It's an overkill for this game. The only thing that I might need to do in terms of dynamic shadows, it would be the lights suspended on the rope physics. That's even if I'm going to be putting that in. Which, there's a pretty good chance I will, but still. Inherited. Okay, so glitch X and glitch so as long as it's 0, as long as it's 0, it's just going to continue going its regular path. Now, glitch alpha. Right, so here we go. This is the glitch alpha. And this basically says, and I gotta be careful though. I need to make sure that I have a reset function to reset these variables to 0, 0, so I don't have to recreate a new light again. But anyways, it does seem like glitch alpha actually exists anywhere besides the startup script. That's the edit function. So that's fine. I might as well actually even put this thing in here. What am I doing? If keyboard check pressed ordinary key T, then here we go. You keep nagging about dynamic lights and shadows. Frickin' Southpaw keeps nagging about rope physics with vines. Leave me the fuck alone, people. I got shit to do. Working at my fucking job is a goddamn depression fest. Absolute terrible. Worst fucking trade-off for my time. And I'm trying to get this game out as fast as possible. Let's see. I probably need to only do the inheritance thing. Glitch inherit ID equals ID. So we'll say if is equals ID and this thing does not equals to 0, so any other value, then what have I suggested that you haven't implemented besides lights? Everything. And elevator paths. Lights and vertex buffers and elevator paths is the only thing that I've implemented. That's pretty much the only stuff you nagged about. So that's that. Okay, so glitch inherit ID equals instance nearest, and we'll do X, Y, OBJ, ambient, kit light. So this will essentially get the ID of the ambient light kit. Right. First was the vertex buffers, then the editor. What editor? The vertex shit. Okay, don't start like subcategorizing shit. The vertex buffers is shadows. That's everything with what's in there. Start fucking breaking everything down into a huge list. It's like, oh yeah, I helped him do this, I helped him do that. Never mind that 20 of those steps are basically one fucking system. Alright. So now that we have this thing, we say if does not equals to self, then glitch ID, glitch alpha, excuse me, equals glitch alpha. So now this system should basically do that. Wait, you showed me the editor, not how to do the editor. You did your editor using DS lists or DS grids or something like that. I just did mine using regular objects. I had to figure that stuff on my own. If it wasn't for that, I would probably have gone with the buffers, like straight up buffers, and I'd probably do the center point and the surrounding triangles would have just linked into the center point. That's probably like the next best thing that I could really figure out, because that's the closest thing to doing paths, or to like doing an outline of the light mask without actually using paths or without using some other convoluted system, and without having to figure out automatic triangulation. Everything you just listed, I can put under "you taught me about buffers" category. That's literally all there is to it. You know? Way to toot your own horn, Jenko. Way to toot your own horn. Okay, so here's what I can do. I can use the T key to say, I can kind of alternate between this. So if glitch inherit is equals to 0, then X. Else, if it's not, I'll return them to 0. So it's going to be like a toggle thing going on there. XY, XY. Yeah. So now I actually do need to draw this stuff. And as far as I know, I can actually use this thing, can I? Okay, so this is irrelevant now. Shadow trace line. So no more snap modes. Oh man, all of this stuff is irrelevant now. There's no shadow masks. There's no clear shadows. What? Why? Oh, interesting. Ah, this is a way of putting in the single quotation mark in there. The mouse scroll is irrelevant. Shift mouse scroll is also irrelevant. Okay, this is relevant. Origin X, origin Y. So I have some spaces here that I can actually use for this stuff. Okay, so inherit glitch ID. Inherit X plus Y. Glitch inherit Y. Here we go. And I gotta load up the lights too. Glitch inherit ID X, Y. So There we go. Let me load the lights up. I'm actually getting really close to finishing the demo. It's kind of a milestone. It's a little milestone because I'd say the demo realistically is barely, oh wow, it's barely 5% of the entire game. Considering when I look at the size of the script that we have come up already, it barely grazes 5% mark, and that's 30 levels already. And it's not like the 30 levels is the 10% mark. It's just a tiny portion of it. Wow, there's so much work that needs to be done in this game. But at least the story is getting so much better now that my dad's working on it. It has just improved just tenfold. Okay, so reload, yes. I ended up getting rid of the loser gimmick. So now it's just regular. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's the light that I added afterwards. Okay. So this light is supposed to be glitching. Am I right? Or did I code something improperly? Yeah, I don't know. It's this thing's supposed to be above. There we go. Okay. Wait, is it? What? This is weird. It's be glitching. That actually kind of reminds me. There's a chicken place that I haven't gone to in quite a long time. Who knows? Maybe this is the premonition of my terrible fate. But anyways, here's the dealio. Why? So I set T. Ah, I did this wrong. I did the wrong order. Instead of inheriting the alpha of a target light, I end up setting the alpha of a target light. Here we go. This should work now. I don't know, it could be a big guy. Well, the thing is, like, I know this because I kind of have that same case. If you eat a lot, which I used to eat like a lot, way more than I really need to, your stomach just kind of stretches because it's like a sponge, right? And the sense of satisfaction does not come in as I'd say as easily with the same amount of food. So you just keep eating more and more and more and just keep stretching and stretching. Obviously, there's a limit to it, but there's a reason why dieting usually works. It's like the first month, it's a little bit difficult, considering that you have all this space in your stomach and you're not eating the same amount of food, but you have to give it time to contract. So that's why it's the more you diet, the less your stomach actually fills, so the less you end up eating, and it just kind of it's a snowball that kind of keeps itself perpetuated. But the same thing goes with overeating. If you just keep overeating, you just end up having like a lot of space in your gullet, and you know, it's terrible. It's fucking terrible. Would eating nothing mean you'd never get hungry? Eating nothing would... What? Would eating nothing mean you never get hungry? No. Eating nothing would mean you'd have a small enough stomach to not require as much food to satisfy your hunger. Oh man, holy shit, this is just terrible. Watch this. You know the game Lawbreakers? It's a game made by uh, one of the developers from Epic Games. When he left Epic Games, started his own company, and Epic Games are the ones that made the Unreal Engine. So he founded this, like multi-million-dollar video game project called Lawbreakers that was supposed to be an online shooter, and it's doing terrible right now. Like there was a coverage of it, I think last week. It had a maximum of 10 players playing the game at once all over the world. It is such a disaster, right? And this channel is actually pretty interesting. Yeah. It just takes like these videos and just kind of puts together a like launch of the Switch or the launch of like a certain video game, and how it did like a ripping video on the Evolve game that's currently basically dead right now. Nobody's playing it. Nice. Okay, here we go. So this actually kind of works out. Oh yeah, this is not gonna help. What about compressing food? Compressing food doesn't make any less food. Right? And no matter how much you compress food, it's still gonna break up by the digestive acid. Okay, one last thing. Okay, so all of this is redundant because I still haven't coded in the saving mechanic for this stuff. And that's that. I also need to go down here and say, whoops. Inherit ID to actually be ID if I turn this thing off. Here we go. So this is what I need to do. First I need to save the real value. And I should probably keep the naming convention the same. Is this the stuff that I just copied, or am I just gonna be... Yes, it is. Okay. Y and ID. Okay, beautiful. So now the build lights. And this is where X, Y, ID. X, Y, ID. ID, Y, X. So that should effectively save the, also, this should actually be the ID of the light that we're saving. So that should actually save the inherit variables and load them back up. Seems like a glitch wouldn't really work very well here. What do you mean you have to reinstall YouTube to get the chat to work? Oh, is it on your end, you mean? Yeah, I don't really use the YouTube app all that much. Not much. I am very danger close to finishing the demo levels. Like, I'm on my last level, decorating it right now. And, after I'm done with that, I'll just have to kind of go back to a couple of levels that I did just to make sure that I didn't forget anything. And, oh yeah, I've a lot of work. Unable to find any instances of object index. Like, draw line 70. That's right here. Why though? How about instead of doing this, I will do this. Yeah, so the demo's almost done, but at least the level designs are. The only thing I'll need to do after that is finalize the script for the demo, record voiceovers, and put in the story stuff, which is in of itself a pretty good chunk of work. Unable to find any instance of object index. Huh. Files glitching errors. Why is this thing? You know what? I don't have to save and load this thing. Let me just keep it. The X and Y is just there to do some stuff. I think after this, I'm hoping by the end of today I'll be able to finish all of these levels. Just on the last few. Hey, okay, here we go. So this works now. So I want to put a bunch of lights up around here. Right. This one's gonna have a bit of a glitch to it. I gotta put another glitch type. The squares in the area are curved because I'm using a shader that curves the screen at the edges. It gives the game a bit of a more three-dimensional look. Just a tiny bit more depth. Instead of just doing a plain flat game. I figured this would add a bit of, bit of a more three-dimensional feel to it. Plus, there's an actual death shader, or the same shader I'm using for the death mechanic, which I can show off in a second. '24. So now we have the death mechanic, which obviously wouldn't work now because, oh god damn it, because I have this thing here. Also, I want to put another one of these things down here. Right. Maybe not this particular one. Is there one that I can actually use? Not sure about this lamp. It kind of looks a little wonky, but we'll figure some stuff out. This death screen. The lights are way up here because the player will be able to see them, but they're only up there. They'll only be able to see them if the player plays story mode. So if you can either play story or you can play arcade mode. So arcade, you just get the action levels. So these levels, right? If you play story mode, there's actually characters that the main characters interact with, the protagonists interact with. There's antagonists, there's cutscenes. So if you play story mode, the actual scene starts with them descending into this room, right? And they're slowly passing, they're slowly passing these lights that are kind of lighting up the surrounding area, right? So, it's a player's choice. And I gotta make sure that I go through these guys. So that should be just about it. I mean, there's still stuff that I have to essentially add up here. Decorative stuff for the most part, but this stuff will really come when I have the when I've got the story stuff, like the voice actors, audio files, music, all that good stuff done. Oh yeah, and this thing. Actually, this thing, I need this thing to kind of break. After about this much. Just like that. Save this. Okay, so I'd say, okay, what I wanted to actually check is the foliage brightness. That's a Szechuan sauce, man. Yeah, I'm working on the final set of levels. Really just decorations, for the most part. Decorations for this game. Also, one thing that I forgot to do here are shadows. I gotta put in the shadows. But then again, I still have to kind of do that part whole. So, maybe not now. I'll probably do the shadows for this level afterwards. And once again, I need to compile the game to check the presence of the lights. Almost done with the demo. Almost have the demo finished. Just need to get the story finalized, recorded, and no. Okay. So the foliage actually looks kind of okay. Not too bad. That's it. So I want to go through the previous levels because I know I kind of skipped on a couple of things. Like, for example, lighting for this level. The demo has to date 24 levels, as well as 6 ambient levels, which is where the story would usually just kind of progress. Ooh, actually, how about I'll leave that part in darkness and I'll leave this one in the light. And also kind of go ahead and... I need to make a new sprite for this type of light. I really do. Maybe that's what I'm going to do now. I need a new type of light for that particular thing. So once the demo comes out... Well, we're going to be... Okay. It may be a little while until we get the demo out, because we need to publish the demo and the core game at the same time. So that if I publish the demo now, I might get some sort of a following for the game, but unfortunately, the amount of times it takes to actually make the game, chances are I'm gonna end up losing the hype, so to speak. You know, the hype. You know, the interest in the game is just gonna depreciate over time, and considering that there's no budget in this game, this is all just, you know, made on my own time and good faith. It's probably not a good idea to be losing any sort of interest or letting go of that launch hype, so to speak. So we need to publish Act 1 as well as the demo at the same time in order to kind of ride the wave properly. Okay, so let me pull this thing up. Solution for all these shits, post on Kickstarter. Definitely not a solution. I have posted my projects on Kickstarter before. What people fail to realize, and what a lot of indie game developers fail to realize, like, I'm talking truly indie developers, people making games out of their own pockets, working part-time jobs to support themselves, you know, minimum lifestyle. What some of them don't realize is that Kickstarter is not going to be doing promoting for you. Kickstarter doesn't care about your project. Kickstarter cares about the money that you bring from the project. Kickstarter is not going to be market your game. Kickstarter is not going to promote your project. Kickstarter is not going to do any of that shit, right? Kickstarter expects you to provide the crowd for the crowdfunding, right? So you need to have an existing following who has been following your project for a very long time, who actually is interested in getting your product. These are the people who are basically your target consumers, not some Joe, you know, no-name Joe who's never seen your project and just saw it on Kickstarter, right? Kickstarter doesn't work that way. You have to provide your own crowd. And at that point, if I have to provide my own crowd, then let me just skip Kickstarter and just make the game and put it on Steam and actually get the proper portion of the profits, right? That's basically the thing about Kickstarter. It's not an all universal solution to getting a project funded. Like, for every successful video game project, you can see there's 50 of ones that did not get funded. 50 projects that would actually look pretty good out of maybe 200 that look like crap. Right? So the audience does not start from Kickstarter. Kickstarter starts from the audience. Okay, what am I doing? Lights. That's right. Need to make a new light. Okay. Little light. New. Tube light. Okay. Color, sure thing. And the only benefit that Kickstarter truly provides, actually, is an established brand. This is basically a brand that people know and people trust, so to speak. They trust this place to be putting their money into something, regardless of, you know, some of the projects that have kind of dropped the ball on their execution. That's basically everything that Kickstarter provides. Kickstarter is only really gonna promote your project if your project is already a successful thing or has an existing following. It's basically got a showcase value to these people. Okay. So what I need to do now is essentially this pattern. Why can't I do a gradient there? Whoops. Well, that didn't work. something is... Oh, yeah. How the marketing of your game depends on what it looks like. What other half is luck. You won't lose the hype of the people if it gets the right publicity. That is true, but it will still lose interest. It will take me a good amount of time to actually create the core game. You have to create levels, polish levels, voice acting, polish that, implemented to the game, music, implemented to the game, story, scripts, all that stuff, right? In that time, that's going to be a good half year, a good year. And all that time, people will lose interest in your game. It's not even about if the right crowd. It will happen, right? The only projects that can stay afloat for the long development times are the projects that can constantly pump money into marketing. Constant ads, have your game always in front of people, always reminded. That's the only way to do it, right? And considering this is a game without a budget, I can't be pumping money into marketing, right? That's just not how it works. I adjust this thing using this? No, I cannot. What about using levels? Nope, that's a big fat no. But I can do this. This might actually work. What the fuck happened there? What's with a big ass ugly line? That's this light. Yeah. Looks like shit. And we have this light. Why? What's with the banding? Mr. Swift in Twitch chat. How's it going? Okay, I think this banding is caused by me constantly here we go. Okay, here we go. It could also be my monitor. so this is 09. Tube light. PNG. Yep. And this. Ah. Well, that's not good. That's right. That's why I can't really do that kind of stuff. God damn it. So, that's a big fat no to this thing. I'll have to use a mask. There we go. And I need to adjust the mask. There we go. Can you make these kinds of lights with GM editor? Probably. They don't have gradient tools yet, as far as I know, so you'll have to use some sort of a creative, some other creative method of making the gradients. Probably have to paint them. I don't really bother with the Game Maker's built-in editor. So PNG, blend, yes, and PNG, additive. What did I call the other one? Tube light. Brilliant. Now I gotta head off to the lights. And I'm gonna have to edit and image, import images. Assets, lighting, additive, this one, so that adds a new light type. And then if I go to this one, I need to do the same thing. There we go. So now this light should become available through the editor in the game. This game is actually a whole lot more narration driven. A whole lot more narration driven than I thought. Wait, what did you say? Undertale demo got released in May 2013 and the game on September 2015. Right, but Undertale is one game out of perhaps a couple of thousand games that have been released that year in the same genre. A couple of thousand all over the world with English language as a primary language. So you can't use a popular game as an example because that popular game makes up barely 1% of the entire statistics, right? If you want to use a video game as an example, you have to take a larger sample than just one game. There we go. There's that light. So now, it's pretty high res light too. I can do some nice stuff with it. What does this light look like if I use it as a top-down light, actually? Oh, looks pretty damn interesting. Okay, that's it. I have to code in the tiny movement using the arrow keys when it's being edited. So where's the movement stuff? It's above here, isn't it? Moving. Okay. So moving with keys. So this is if the edit mode is on. If keyboard check pressed, VK left, then we'll have to do we'll have to do the following: var nudge we'll say variable nudge equals 0, and then nudge x equals 0. So if left key, then we'll say nudge x equals 1, just by 1 pixel. And it's actually got to be -1. Nudge x equals 1. VK up. Nudge y will be -1. VK down. Nudge y. And I'll just go ahead and say x plus equals nudge x, y plus equals nudge y. So this will nudge the entire thing over. The only thing is that So I need to also do the following thing. If keyboard check VK left control. So if this thing is held down, then nudge X multiply equals by 0.5. So we'll kind of slow down the movement. Same deal for nudge Y. I could do that too, but that's not really what I want to go with, because I need to actually have these values. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, because technically this means it's gonna be moved half a pixel, which makes no sense to me. Okay. So let's take a look. If I take this, I can move it over. And it does move half a pixel. Well, this is interesting. The only thing is, I need... Oh. I need to also be able to hold down the thing. The Twitter icon on the top of your website doesn't work, by the way. Which website? My music composer website? Twitter. Oh yeah, that's weird. Oh yeah, that's right. I changed that. I'm gonna have to change that at some point. Yeah. Oh shit. Music on the website started playing. Thanks for letting me know, by the way. Okay. So... Okay, how about this? I'll just do check pressed. Or just check. And instead of 0.5, I'll just multiply it by 0.1. So, we'll move it by a little bit. Okay, here we go. And now I can actually move it by a tiny little bit. Alright. And I think I just realized what you meant by this thing. That basically just makes a more compact version of this thing. Never really got used to doing that. I'm too caught up with the if statements. Let me see if this works. VK equals VK down minus up. Yeah, that looks just a tiny bit smaller. I know GM Wolf likes to do things that are not if statement based. So he likes to put logic into his stuff instead of, or to get out of using if statements as much as possible, which is commendable. Alright. This actually looks a lot better. This light looks a whole lot better than the previous one. Why are there almost 40 instances? Because that is how many instances these saw cannons generate. I'm actually kind of... Oh man, this thing doesn't blend in well. It can blend in if I do this. I actually like this light. This light actually works. And it works a lot better than the other one. if I actually extend this thing a little bit. Wait, what? What are you creating of those bullets? No, those trails are actual particles. I wouldn't create objects. Jesus Christ, that's insane. Of course I'll be using particles for these things. I have interactable particles that are acting as objects, you know, these sparks. But these are particles. I'm not that kind of an amateur. I have some finicky mechanics or some finicky solutions for some things, but not everything. Good lord. Okay, so maybe I don't do that. Go. And now I need this light to be down here, except this one should just stay on. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'll save this light. This is level 23. Ah, come on. Save that light. And over here, I actually want to put in a prop. Below player. Below player assets. I wish the particle system had the wiggle effect broken down to wiggle amount and wiggle rate instead of just doing wiggle whatever it is that's there. I think it's the wiggle amount. And it just wiggles at the same rate. Because in After Effects, you have a wiggle effect. And it's indeed the wiggle amount. Or it gives you both. Really handy. Oh. Fucksicles. Okay, so I have forgotten to... I deleted the object that is responsible for putting... Oh, come on. That's responsible for me freeing up the camera, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to have to physically get to the place where I want to put the light in. Like over here. Instead of doing this light, I'm going to go ahead and do this light. Okay, well, I can't really get away with a whole lot more because I really do need that object back there. Reload. Right. You know, it seems like my YouTube viewership is most active during daytime. However, at nighttime, the Twitch one kind of comes into play. But it's usually people from, like, anywhere but US and Canada. Okay. Three and a half as in PM or AM? AM. All right. All right. You gotta make a better transition too, though. Ooh, nope. Okay. I know that this works. The death message. Oh god. I need to make death messages specific to co-op. Like that death message is supposed to only pop up. Only if you're playing co-op. Why doesn't the player have shadows? It's hurting my eye. Because I did not program player shadows. Because I haven't gotten to that part, / haven't considered that it's all that much of a feature or something along those lines. There is a whole lot of shit on my bucket list that I have to do. Everyone's like, why don't I have that thing in there? Why don't I have this thing in there? It's like, motherfucker, I'm in the beginning of this goddamn project. I haven't even gotten to the meat and gravy of this game. Not even close. I'm not even done 5%. The demo is not even 5% of the entire game. There's so much that has to be done still. And it's been a 3-hour stream, so I'm gonna take a break now because, you know, bad health habits. So I'm gonna come back in 30-45 minutes after I've had my break and maybe gone and bought some food. Because I feel like... Here I'm talking about health stuff, and in the meantime I'm considering going to get a bunch of burgers or some shit. Maybe some chicken. I haven't had chicken in a while. There's this amazing chicken place right by my house called Chuck's Chicken. It's amazing. It's delicious. It's like it used to be a Mary Brown's, and now it's a Chuck's Chicken place. Which I'm pretty sure both of those brands are also US brands. But anyways, let me open up the previous levels. So this was 22. I know I don't have any shadows here, but I'm pretty sure that there aren't any places that need a shadow. if I'm going to be putting in shadows for the player, I was thinking about the way I'm going to achieve this particular feature. But realistically, there's like a huge thing that I have to figure out if I'm going to be doing shadows for the player. It would definitely, like, I'm not doubting, or I'm not discarding the fact that the game would look even better if this thing has shadows in it. Absolutely, it absolutely will. Oof. I just gotta figure out a whole bunch of stuff before then. Oh god. How did I make that? Actually, like, I can jump right in the middle of that area. I specifically made it that easy. Because I didn't feel like torturing the player on the way down, on the way back as well. We'll have plenty of opportunities to do that later on. Oh no! Oh, I screwed that up. Ooh. How did that not rip my head off? Okay. There we go. Oh god. There we go. Oh! No. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to switch up that light with the new one, the one that I made here. Maybe. Just so that the players can actually kind of land there. Either that or just extend this entire thing. This bit. Just be a tiny bit more forgiving. And I'm pretty sure I don't have any shadows in this level. What is this? 22. 20. Oh, I do have shadows for this level. I just haven't... Yeah. Man. Oh, it's okay. I can edit shadows, so that's kind of good. Anyways, break time. Gotta get my break now. Gonna get my break on. Can't even fucking say shit, right? Be right back. 30, 45 minutes. Continue working on this.